This Korean guy sends us a fucking email saying like, yo, it's super disrespectful that you guys have this fucking name, this GoforBroke thing. It belongs to, the GoforBroke Foundation, the military people. And I was like, you're Korean, dude. This is a Japanese thing, and we have a Japanese owner.
Yeah.
And this fool didn't even fucking know that we were working with the GoforBroke Foundation.
Yeah.
Because he didn't care to ask.
Yeah.
He just sent us a fucking scathing email.
Yeah.
And I just remember I wrote back a super disrespectful shit, and I sent him all these links. I was like, that's fucking funny. Did you even look? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain.
Didn't see you there.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah,
that's a classic move, dude. I had you guys don't know. You should know him. He's a YouTuber friend of mine who, back in the day, he used to start his videos with his chair turned around and he had a mug or something. He was like, "Oh shit, guys, I didn't see you guys there." And then I remember during Thanksgiving, I started roasting this fool. I was like, yo, how the fuck do you not know they're there when you're the one who turned on the camera, you fucking dummy? Right? And then, everybody's like roasting them and shit.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I found out that he was so hurt by that shit. I was like,
you just have a history of hurting people, roasting them. That's why you got that gun pointed at your dick, bro.
But it's not like I don't get roasted too. Like everybody gets roasted. You know what I mean?
No, but it's a different kind of roasting. Look, some people are just better at roasting than others. And, when you're the type of person who's better at roasting, some people can really be hurt by it, man.
You know what the thing is too is like, I just remember as a kid, like one of the things that never really worked out was when people would roast each other, there's like a certain level of a line you don't cross, right? I always cross that line because I'm always trying to win.
Yeah.
So it would be like some shit where somebody would make a fat joke or something like that, right? And I would just go I know something about them that they don't like. And I would just be like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, well, how about your stupid dead dad for dying? It's like, oh, man, come on, bro.
It was like one time, this dude got hella mad at me, which it was understandable. But his problem was that, like I said, one of the biggest things that I don't like is people who dish it but can't take it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want any of the heat, then stay out the fucking kitchen, because you can't just free will just clown on people and then not get clapped back at.
Oh man, you talking about that? Sorry to change real quick. We'll come back, but it made me remember what I was thinking about recently, which was there's a lot of people who like to say, "Oh, I like people who are open-minded," but you quickly realize
you're not open-minded.
You ain't open-minded at all. The fuck is you talking about?
That's all Twitter, dude.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's a fucking two-way street, man. Yeah. You have to open your mind to be accepting of things. And as a result, then you can coexist with these other open-minded people and talk about things very openly. But nah, bro.
That's like have you ever seen that girl in the group that says shit like this? I'm really mature for my age. You are the most immature person I've ever met in my fucking life.
These cliche statements. I'm a very open-minded person.
You know why?
Yeah.
I mentioned that it's a girl, and the only reason why that girl thinks like that is because a bunch of punk perverted older oppas that wants to fuck you. Yeah. So they always tell you that you're super mature. It's like, no, because they want to fuck you. You're not mature. If you have to verbally tell people that you are more mature for your age than you actually are, most likely you're fucking not.
Yeah. And usually the way they say, people always say that I'm like more mature for my age, You
got duped because you're around I was like, is it also a coincidence that all your friends are a bunch of guys?
Yeah. What's your DMs look like?
Yeah. Show me your fucking DMs, motherfucker.
From the people you're getting them from. But it's the exact same shit, bro. Like what you just said. They can dish it, but they can't take it.
I hate that shit, man. It's just so obnoxious. Like, but I do understand too. There has to be like a certain level of like, don't cross that line. I just see that line and I'm
what
like,
line?
I gotta get to the finish.
Line?
I remember this fool got mad at me because I think he's like half joking, but he's like half for reals. But he was like making fat jokes at me, right? Whatever, whatnot, which is the go-to thing when you're a fat person, right? And then I literally looked at him, and then one of the things that we all knew within our group, but nobody really said it, was that his girlfriend looked exactly like his mom. And so, right?
Oh, man.
And I got comments too when people say, Mario looks like your mom. And I looked at Mario, I was like, no, not really. There's like one specific picture where she kind of looks like my mom, but she looks nothing like her.
I don't think they look alike.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And so I remember I looked at him. I was like, so how do you like fucking your mom every night? What you talking about? But nobody ever said that to him. But everybody knew that joke. Okay. So everybody started busting up laughing, right? I was like, how's your mom's pussy feel every night, dude? And I just kept going in on this dude, right? And then so his girlfriend, we were at dinner and his girlfriend comes in and everybody goes, oh shit.
His mom's here.
Right? And I was like, oh, Mrs. Kim, please have a seat. And she's like, I don't get it. Why are you guys laughing? And this fool's getting super fucking mad. He's like, too far, bro. I was like, dog, we're having fucking dinner and you just start busting fat jokes on me out of nowhere. I didn't say shit to you. You already went there. You can't do that shit because it's always easy to pick on the person that has something very easy to make fun of. But it's like, you do know I've been friends with you for fucking like 6 years. I know everything about you. I know everything that makes you insecure. I'm going to fucking murder you, dude. So we just kept making fun of him that he's like fucking his mom. And then later on, I was like, I fucking broke up with her because I couldn't get the fact that, she looks like my mom. I'm like, man. Come on, guy. Like, that's not the reason. You guys just didn't work out.
Right.
Also, your mom's pussy's probably really nice, bro.
It's like, come on, man. How do you not see the resemblance? You know what I mean? Like, how do you not see that?
Like, she looked exactly like his mom, dude.
You gotta be a certain type of fucking oblivious to not see that and be like, there's something here that's oddly strange. I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh, that's what it is. It's my mother. It's my mother.
One of the homies, when we were at that dinner, this fool cracked me the fuck. I think it's such a stupid joke, but he's like, so like when you guys fuck, right? He's like, so when you guys fuck, and then you're spanking her, is it like you're getting back at your mom for beating your ass when you're younger?
It's like revenge sex. Oh man.
Dog. Oh man, we were crying laughing, dude.
Damn.
And this fool was like, do you say like who's your daddy like in Korean or English? Do you go Appa Duguya? Like who do you say? So and I think their jokes were way worse than mine. But I think because I was the onslaught of it, I just said that one thing that got him and everybody started clowning.
You opened the floodgates, man. Yeah. You opened the floodgates.
But when we look back at that too, they always thought that he came out of nowhere with that shit. Like, we're just eating.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what the fuck?
It's uncalled for. You know what I mean? But again, like if you do something like that, you gotta be prepared. You can't roast people not being prepared to fucking have it be dished back at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you can't laugh at yourself and take a joke, shut the fuck up there.
Yeah, because dude, I have friends now, and people see it like me and Gio. We make fun of each other all the time, but we both give and take.
Right.
And like when she makes fun of me, it makes me fucking laugh super hard. I make fun of her, she cracks the fuck up too. Yeah. We have that because she can dish it and she can also take it.
Yeah.
But I just never liked those people who couldn't do it.
I know.
Especially because they were the first ones to attack.
Unless they're a gangster with a gun.
Oh, yeah. This is different.
That is different.
My joke was so mild, dude. It wasn't even anything. It was just like, hey, man, I was like, guess that joke didn't hit. It was like some shit like that. I don't remember the exact joke, but on the previous podcast, you heard this thing. But I basically was like, hey, that joke didn't hit. And he thought, oh, this fool thinks he's so funny. Let me put a gun to his dick.
You funny now?
You funny now,
you
bitch?
Laughing now?
One of the worst experiences of my fucking life, dude. And I deleted it for a reason.
I know. It's so funny. It's just like it was gone. And then it just came back up and you're like, oh, what? I'm having these emotions, these flow of emotions right now.
I was like, that's right. I remember I cried on the phone.
I think that's the funniest part. Your homie calls the check. Hey, you all right, bro?
I was like...
I'm not, man. I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, this fool trying to fucking kill me, man. Like, what the fuck, man? He was like, what the fuck, bro?
Oh, man.
I was like, nah, he wasn't gonna kill you, bro. He was like, you good, man.
Maybe just shoot you, but not kill you, bro.
That fool put a gun on me, man. I was like, oh, my God.
Nah, dude, as a teenager who's not used to that type of shit, that's terrifying,
I'm 14
man.
years old, too. I'm hella young.
That's terrifying, bro. Yeah. Your voice barely changed.
I know.
You know?
Like, what is this?
Your puberty went backwards.
Yeah. But if you guys don't know, one of the things that we started this year, I mean, you guys always hear this podcast, we talk about Secret Society, right?
Yeah.
So this is how long have we been doing Secret Society now?
4 years.
Damn, man, it's been fucking 4 years.
Yeah. This is the 4th year, So now we're on Well, we crossed over the 4th year. We launched in 2017, August of 2017. So now we're into our 5th year, actually. So it's crazy, man. I look back at it and I'm like, oh my goodness, where did the fucking time? Well, we lost 2 years, pretty much.
So technically it's been about, 2 years.
Yeah, 2 and change.
Yeah. 2 years and change.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of sucks too, because I think the pandemic kind of fucked a lot of us over, right? In a way that we didn't really expect, especially when it came to closing production, right? So if anybody out there wants to do clothing, don't do it.
No, that's so funny, because that's what I always tell. Like when I hear people, oh yeah, I want to start my own clothing line. Nah, you don't want to do that. You want to enjoy life, right? Yeah. You want to actually have some fun, right? Don't do it then.
It's hard, right? I think like the growing pains of having a clothing company is very difficult, right?
Yeah.
So originally, my first go at it was with the company GoforBroke, and there was a lot of success with it. At the time, I knew nothing about clothing. And even now I don't really know much, but I just wanted to create a brand that it was like the opposite of like the cool kids, right? So all the cool kids would have these brands and they would wear shit only because people would tell them it was cool, but they didn't know what the fuck it was about. Well, that saying "go for broke" is something that resonated with me forever. It's how I live my life.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why don't we just kind of like try to develop something where people can wear a brand that they really fuck with. They understand the meaning of it. At the time when I did it started with me and Paul.
Yeah.
Paul left. He gave me the rest of the company.
Yeah.
And then with that company, I started up with Bart and Joe.
Yeah.
They reinvested. They wanted equal share. I was like, cool. And then we grew it to something really, really fucking big.
Yeah.
At the time, we couldn't do anything with it because it was too much and we didn't know anything about clothing.
Yeah.
Bart just started Barbell Brigade. Just Kidding News just started popping off. I wanted to do film and acting and everything else.
Yeah.
So we're like, how the fuck?
Too much.
We have like not even a part-timer. Like it was like a quarter of a quarter timer, 3 people trying to run this company.
Right.
And we couldn't run any of it. And so we had to hire out every single job and left $0 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
And when we did make profit, everything else that we did, we ended up donating the company, the name and whatever to the actual GoforBroke Foundation.
Right. In Tokyo, right?
Yeah. I found out they didn't even have like legal ownership rights to anything. And so we actually decided to just donate and work with them. Funny story about that too. There's a guy who he owns a very popular dessert shop out in LA.
Yeah.
And he's funny. He's a Korean dude.
Yeah.
But he's in like the little Tokyo area. And this motherfucker, dude, we know one of like the OG like Japanese dudes. He took over GoforBroke for us, and we were talking to him and working with him. And we're like, yo, how can we give back to the GoforBroke Foundation? And we were working with them and everything else. And this Korean guy sends us a fucking email saying like, yo, it's super disrespectful that you guys have this fucking name, this GoforBroke thing. It belongs to, the GoforBroke Foundation, the military people. And I was like, you're Korean, dude. This is a Japanese thing and we have a Japanese owner.
Yeah.
And this fool didn't even fucking know.
Yeah.
That we were working with the GoforBroke Foundation.
Yeah.
Because he didn't care to ask.
Yeah.
He just sent us a fucking scathing email.
Yeah.
And I just remember I wrote back a super disrespectful shit. And I sent him all these links. I was like, that's fucking funny. Did you even look at all the shit of us working with GoforBroke? Working with the foundation, the founders and the leaders and everybody? And this fool comes and goes, oh, I was like, fuck you, bro. I was like, if I see you, it's on site. I'm going to fuck you up.
When you see this
hand, fucking Korean people, dude. Korean people on their stupid fucking K-Rage. And I was like talking to my boy about it. He was like, yo, what's your guy? He goes, hey, I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't know why he even came at you like that. He didn't even talk to you. I was like, exactly. You didn't even fucking ask.
Exactly. Just, if you want to fucking attack somebody, at least make sure you got the facts right. You know what I mean?
He could have simply said like, hey, bro, like I'm a part. It's like, hey, did you guys get the GoforBroke blessing? Because a lot of people are talking.
Yeah.
So he heard from a few older Japanese people that they were upset about it, but a majority were okay with it because they knew we were working with the GoforBroke Foundation. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, guy? You don't know shit.
Yeah.
We donated everything to them. We had to buy the name GoforBroke.com from somebody for like 10 G's. We donated that whole thing to them.
Yeah.
We gave them all of our clothing, all the money, everything to them.
Yeah.
He didn't know this shit. And we were in transition of doing it because we couldn't handle it.
Right.
And then we get this one fucking email about him like, saying how dare we do all this other shit. I was like, you're not even Japanese, bro. Shut the fuck up. You don't know shit.
Yeah, who appointed you fucking Captain Correct?
I will break your fucking kneecap. As I still get fucking mad about that shit. It's the most Korean thing he could have ever done.
It's just so random.
Yeah, I don't even know you.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. But if you do want to like come at a point of fucking attacking somebody, you can ask first. Yeah. Make sure you got the facts right. And if you still feel a certain way about it, then go into attack mode. But
this podcast is brought to you by ShipStation. The holidays are the most wonderful time of the year, but if you're running an online store, you know that they can get a little crazy. With ShipStation, the hassle of shipping holiday orders just goes away, and it leaves you happier and gives you time to run your business. I use ShipStation, and what I love about it is that it's easy to use. I save money, and when it comes to shipping, and the most important thing is just a service level in general that I can give people from it reflects well on me and my business. So if you sell anything online, I don't need to tell you that shipping can be annoying and frustrating, and there are so many carriers and a ton of factors that go out in figuring out the best rate for each order. Well, guess what? ShipStation makes it easy. It doesn't matter what you have. Amazon sales, eBay, Etsy, or your own website, ShipStation has your back. Make this holiday season a little brighter with ShipStation. Use my offer code GeniusBrain to get a 60-day free trial. Just enough time to handle the holiday rush. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top, and enter code GeniusBrain. ShipStation. Make ship happen.
Don't come right off the bat with that fucking fighting words, man.
It was fucking hilarious too, because I remember Joe saw the email that I wrote back to him, and Joe's like, "Hey, I'd like to apologize for my friend," because I kind of went in. Yeah. I'm like, dog, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this fool up. And they were looking at me and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna beat his ass." So I was like, I'm gonna beat this fool's fucking ass, man.
I'm gonna choke him and slap him around.
You fucking old fuck. I will beat the fucking shit out of you, dude. You ain't a fucking, listen, I'm not a gangster. You definitely not a gangster, bro. Like, did you ever have a fucking gun next to your dick because you cracked a joke next to somebody? Bitch, you ain't live my life, dog.
You got credentials, bro.
I got gangster credentials now. I cried to my homie. The fuck do you know? It was the most disrespectful shit, dude. But from that, like, we decided to start up a ScrtSociety.
Yeah.
Mainly him. And then I came in as an investor. One of the hardest things when it comes to like doing clothing too, and we were just talking about it, I'm not going to call out any clothing companies' names or something, but, out of support, and these are brands that I really like, and I like the people behind it and their model, and I fuck with it. So I order the clothes. I get the stuff. It's like, damn, this shit is a fucking AAA t-shirt.
Yeah.
It is. And if you guys don't know what AAA t-shirts are, or Gildan t-shirts, by the way, back in the day, if you guys used to go to swap meets, or if you go to swap meets now, you'll see typically it's like Korean or Chinese people.
Yeah.
They have these stacks of just blank tees. And so back in the day, we used to just wear long white tees.
Yeah.
Long, just blanks with just nothing on it and shaved heads. And they were always AAA shirts.
Yeah.
And AAA shirts are cheap as fuck. I'm talking about at the swap meet, it was like 3 for $5. That type of cheap.
Very scratchy fabric.
It's the scratchiest fucking fabric on earth.
You're like, why my neck fucking itch all the time, man?
And like when you would buy that shirt and then you would wash it and turn it into a halter top. Those are the AAA shirts.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, with a lot of like clothing companies and brands, they're starting to realize that their name is bigger than the actual product that they actually put out.
Yeah.
And so, I just bought a bunch of stuff on Black Friday, got it, and it's a AAA shirt. And, to be honest with you, lightweight kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because even on sale, I just paid like fucking $30-$40 for this shirt, for a shirt that I know that when you process this and you make it, it probably costs you like 10 cents.
Yeah.
And then I just paid $40 for it. It's like, for what? What the fuck is this shit about?
Yeah.
And I think like when it comes to people who want to make clothing and all these like fashion brands that kind of develop off of the name versus actually caring about the product, this is what you get.
Yeah. When
I was in Japan, I remember I went to in Tokyo, the Supreme store, picked up the shirt, and it didn't even have the Supreme tag on it. Like all of them did, and there was a mistake on one of them, and it said Gildan.
Yeah,
the shirt was $120.
Right,
a Gildan T-shirt.
Right,
a 5-cent T-shirt, and they're charging $120.
But that's what hype does, though. You know what I mean? I mean, kudos to like the core founders of Supreme and the marketing that they did for it. Whatever it was, because I don't know the intricate details behind it. Whatever they did, it worked.
I think so. The Supreme story is that they were originally a skate brand.
Right.
right? And so they did something where they actually got a cease and desist. And so people only know about the recent onslaught of this, where Supreme did a collab with, was it Gucci or Louis? Louis.
They did it with everybody.
With everybody. But who did it start? It started with like Louis, right?
They've done a Louis collab.
Yeah. So they started doing this collab where they were doing it with high-end brands. Well, they actually did that previously before without that brand's consent. And I think it was Louis Vuitton. You guys can look it up. They got sued.
Yeah.
They did a cease and desist because it actually started becoming really popular. So they were putting that monogram.
Yeah.
It was
on the box.
The Louis monogram and everything with the Supreme theme on their skateboards. And it blew them the fuck up. It made them from like a nobody skate brand that kind of people knew about. And it blew them the fuck up. They had a cease and desist and they fucking sued them. And then I think they won off of like a parody clause or something like that. Well, from that point on, it already grew their fucking name. So they were the first ones to kind of bring in the whole, streetwear and luxury and mash it together. Well, lo and behold, a few years back, they did a legit collab with fucking Louis.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was the onslaught of the original part where they actually got a cease and desist and got sued.
Yeah.
And so that's like how they kind of blew up.
I mean, yeah, you can get notoriety from a pure accident like that, you know? Whatever the case is, yeah, you need that luck and timing to hit, and doesn't necessarily represent like the quality of the shit that they're making. It just sometimes it can be something simple as a celebrity being caught wearing something, right? And then overnight, it just blows the fuck up because everybody now is Googling that brand to be like, how can I get that hat or how can I get that tee?
You remember D9?
Yeah. With the paparazzi who was wearing it. Kanye's like, yo, that's a dope hoodie. Where'd you get it from?
Sold out their whole stock in one day.
Yeah.
They sold out their whole website in a single fucking day.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It like, even if that is a manufactured incident, like they planned that, even still, it's just one of those things that creates the hype machine. And once the hype's behind it, it's pretty much like open season, man. And as a creator, it does kind of kill me inside when I see like our peers, I guess, the quality that they're doing. Look, there's nothing wrong with using blanks. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Startup brands need to do it. We've done it with our capsule collections. But here's the difference is like now we're at a place where there's so many blanks available. If you're of a certain stature, certain brand, that's at a level where it's like you guys are doing relatively well and you have good brand awareness, there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse to cheap out and get like bottom of the barrel blanks.
Yeah.
You can get some nice premium blanks and have your brand be represented in a certain light, right? Like, yeah, we make quality shit. Whether we cut and sew it from the ground up or we use blanks, whatever the case is, it's going to be quality and it's going to be consistent across the board, But like you said, there are these established brands who, for one reason or another, are using not such great quality shit. And I know that some of the high-end brands, like high-end streetwear brands, again, I'm not going to name anybody either, that do that as well. And people gladly pay fucking $150, $200 for a t-shirt. And they have no clue that they're buying a blank. And it's like, so that's justified because of the name value, right? Because this is the brand and we're at this level now. So whatever we slap our fucking shit on, now it's instantly worth this much.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, if you know that and you're okay with spending $150, $200, then I can't say anything. That's your money. You spend it how you want to spend it. But also, I feel like people should be a little bit more educated on what it is that they're buying.
100%. And I think one of the things that we worked on the Back to Basics release that we recently did is a lot of people don't know, but you will know when you receive the product, is everything was made domestic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys understand what that entails. It's when you hear somebody makes all their clothing domestic, number one, the biggest reason why you don't hear that a lot, and it's made in Bangladesh, Indonesia, China.
Yeah.
It's because it's cheaper.
Yeah. It's cheaper, but here's the thing. So here's the trade-off, right? Is just because it's made overseas doesn't mean it's inferior,
exactly.
Right? We've had overseas production, but it's with legit factories, When you're doing overseas production, one, it's hard as fuck to find a good factory. People, when they're starting out, have to spend thousands of dollars and countless hours traveling around, visiting factories to see, okay, do they do a good job? Even when you think you found one that does, they could fool you. They show you shit like, oh yeah, we made this. And then you get your production and you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's the Alibaba sweater.
Yeah, it's the bait and switch, right? I think there's a kind of a negative connotation with like overseas production as it being like inferior, or bad, or cheap. No, it's not that. Because even though it might be cheaper per piece, there's a minimum. There's a minimum that you have to meet in order to work with some of these bigger factories. Let's say for a certain style and a certain color, the minimum is 1,200 pieces. When you're starting out, can you do that? Let's say you got two colors for one design, a black color and a white color. That's 2,400 pieces you have to do just on that.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you got like
good luck,
some major guap or some fucking, investment, like it's going to be hard to do that. So that's one hurdle that you have to kind of get past when you're doing overseas production, finding a good factory to do it with. And then the second one is meeting the minimum requirements, right? But the focus here with our back to basics collection and doing it domestically was, a couple of things, right? Like we suffered during the pandemic, but then so did all these other small businesses. And once I found out that like people I knew who were involved in the business here locally were doing this type of stuff, I'm like, it would be great for us to like invest in this and, have it be a win-win for the both of us, right? They get paid to do a job. We get our products made. That was one of the things. And two is quicker turnaround times generally. Because with overseas stuff, you got to kind of slot out 3 to 4 months at the least. With all these port issues going on, 3 to 4 months is if you're lucky. Crazy. You know what I mean? And so that wasn't a factor when I made the decision, but thank fucking God I did make that decision because we might not even have the stuff still right now, And then thirdly, it's domestic production too. Same problem, potential problem as overseas. Finding a good factory is not easy.
Yeah.
Finding a good production house is not easy. A lot of these factories here in LA, I don't mean to shit on them, but I'm sorry, they're fucking garbage. Their sewing sucks. The fabric selections that they have suck. Their customer service suck. Like nothing is good about it. And it's no mystery why so many of them have been closing shop over the years. And then, like they have the audacity to complain about, the overseas stuff is killing our business. Well, then you do better. If you do better, people will gladly pay higher dollar for it. Yes, cost of labor and everything's more expensive here. Raw materials more expensive here. But if you do good fucking work, bro, when we were trying to do a domestic program before the pandemic, it took me about 4 months of searching just to fucking find the factory willing to take on the project.
Yeah.
First of all, it's like, we're paying you to do a fucking job, what you do, but yet you're saying you don't want to do it because it's a little too complicated for your taste.
Yeah.
My jaw just dropped. I'm like, I can't believe what I'm fucking hearing.
Yeah.
The industry, the production industry is fucking struggling in LA, yet you're passing on business. They're like, oh yeah, we want simple stuff like just a t-shirt or like, just a crew neck, a sweater.
It's like, we have blanks. It's like, no, we don't want blanks. Like, this is what we want.
And they're like, no, there's too much details going on and it's going to take too much work. And I'm like, wow. So that I was like fucking flabbergasted about that, first of all. And then when we did find a production house to work with.
My Brain Farts This podcast is brought to you by Skillshare. Listen, let me cut to the chase. I know you're like me. You have hobbies, you have goals, and a bunch of things you want to learn and try, but you don't know where to get the right information. And yeah, you can search online for hours and for the right class, but I'm telling you, you don't need to deal with any of that bullshit. Just get Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with real meaning, with so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives, because Skillshare is about real growth. So for me, the course I'm checking out right now is YouTube Success Script Shoot and Edit by Marcus Brownlee, one of my favorite creators of all time. I've been doing YouTube, but you guys already know, I've said it multiple times, there's always room to grow and learn, and why not learn from MKBHD himself? So remember, explore your creativity at Skillshare.com/brain and get a 1-month free trial premium membership. That's 1 month of a premium membership at Skillshare.com/brain.
Yeah, no. So I was saying, like, yeah, when we did find finally a production house to take on the project, you know, this guy overpromised all this shit in terms of timeline, like, you know, whatever. And long story short, he took, I think, like 4 times longer than what he originally quoted us. Yeah. And just kept fucking giving me the runaround. And I was pissed because, like, we already put in a 50% deposit. We can't get that money back. And this motherfucker is just like stringing me along. He'd tell me, oh yeah, you know, we'll have it ready by next week. Next week comes, can't get in contact with him. Can't get an answer, can't get an update. I got to fucking go over there. He might not even be there sometimes. I was so pissed, but I couldn't do anything because we're too deep in the game at that point, you know? That was our first major setback. And for those of you guys who are familiar with our collection, the pieces that I'm talking about in particular here are the track pants. So those track pants were supposed to come out about like 5 or 6 months before than when it did, you know? And so we lost a lot of fucking time, fucked up our whole schedule with our shoots, with our releases, everything. And it was because of this one fucking guy who just could not keep his word or give me something straight. You know what I mean? That happened. And then right following that, the pandemic happened not too long after, you know? So it was a double whammy for sure. But like, you know this, like we had a point where we had to look at the situation and be like, okay, do we want to just cut our losses here, you know, take the L, or do everything we can to possibly turn it around, you know? And for me, it felt like tucking my tail between my legs and fucking running away if we gave up at that point.
Yeah.
And it wasn't out of stubbornness. It wasn't out of ego or anything. It's just like what we have been able to build up to that point. And I feel like, hopefully anyway, what customers have come to recognize, what they can expect from our brand. Like the attention to detail that
I mean, our returning customer base is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think like that is one of the things that I know that I didn't have with like the other stuff that I had much. Was I think people liked, like, for example, when we did something like GoforBroke, right? Mm-hmm. Or any product that we have, the biggest shift that I made was, let's not just sell something based on the name. Let's sell it like, if I wasn't here, would you still wear it? Mm-hmm. You know, which for merchandise is never that way.
Yeah.
Right. Merchandise is like, you wear it specifically because you fuck with me heavy.
Right.
And when you wear that shirt, it's in support of me.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. I wanted to do the next step. It's like, okay, if I tell you that I'm an investor in this clothing brand, would I wear it? Mm-hmm. Do I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Is it something that I'm proud of? When anybody who has owned a ScrtSociety piece, right, from our very first collection, and in between we put out stuff that helped keep us afloat.
Yeah.
But our solid collections from the onslaught of the 213 collection that we first put out.
Yeah.
Then to the 1.5.
Yeah.
And now the back to basics.
Yeah.
Not a single person got our stuff and hated it.
No,
it's impossible.
Yeah, you can't look at it and be like, oh, you know, this is not good quality or there's no good value there. And that was the thing, man. That was kind of like the whole ethos behind ScrtSociety, right? Is that we wanted to represent the masses and have this sense of community through clothing and have it be accessible. Like, because exclusivity exists in fashion as well. And people get priced out, or, you know, they do limited quantities and like they can't get it even if they want it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want either of those things. I wanted clothes to be like accessible and have anybody reasonably be able to afford it. You know, yeah, I understand some pieces, like if you're working like a minimum wage job, you might have to save a little bit, but it's within reach. It's not impossible. You know what I mean? Like a fucking $300 t-shirt. Like that's for a minimum wage person.
But that's the thing too. Like I think like everybody who's a returning customer, they understand this is high fashion, like streetwear basics.
Yeah.
Which you hear people who do high fashion basics, but they don't put the money and the quality behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what you're paying for.
Absolutely. And because I've worked in the fashion industry, and our partner Remy, who's the head designer, for those of you guys don't know, he worked in the industry. We know what these fucking guys are doing. Some of these fucking high-end streetwear brands are getting made from our production house.
Yeah.
And I know their quality is inferior to ours. Now, again, I'm not going to fucking shit on them by saying what their names are, because I'm not trying to hurt anybody's business. But like, we are very well aware of what our competitors and our peers are making. And so like, we stack up our shit to them and be like, okay, are we at the very least meeting what they're doing and giving it to people at a much more affordable price? Or ideally, we're doing better than what they're doing and still giving it at a better price, which is our primary goal every time we do.
And that's what ScrtSociety is.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
you're getting, I'm treating you guys how I want to treat myself.
Exactly.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that makes me feel really happy when we have such a crazy returning fan base. It's like, so you guys know what's up. You know for a fact that when you went to the other fashion basics place and they charged you an arm and a fucking leg and you didn't get somewhere near the shit that we got.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, our stuff looks unique. It feels even better. And it's at the same price or even less than what they charge.
Exactly, man. I always say, value and design, fit and feel. You know what I mean? Across the board. And like, I think that's something that we've done a pretty solid job of executing on. Obviously, my goal is to do bigger and better things with that in mind, But at the end of the day, I know for a fact, like, people can't knock our product. So I've always been proud in that sense. But like I said, it does hurt me a little and kill me a little when I see these other brands who might have a bigger name value for whatever reason. And I know exactly what the fuck type of fabric they're using and how they're getting it made. And it's inferior, yet people gobble that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, it's the gospel. So that's something that, is always going to exist for any brand, obviously, whether you're in clothing or any other industry, right? It's just branding and marketing.
I think this dope shit is like, I remember when, like, for example, I just texted him today.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, in the Back to Basics, we have our SS logo, our ScrtSociety logo. And this is a heavyweight oversized tee, like true oversized. So if you like wearing your clothes loose and you typically wear a large, it's going to be oversized in a large, right? A lot of people, when they name oversized, right? So I know a couple of people who have clothing brands, and I ordered their oversized stuff in support of friendship, and I got their stuff. They got a blank oversized. And when you get blank oversized, you get what you pay for. So for example, is oversized on the width, but the length isn't fucking right. So when you wash it, it's a fucking halter top. So it's super wide and boxy, but it doesn't drape correctly.
Yeah.
And these are the small details that I think that ScrtSociety does well compared to everybody else. It's all in the fucking detail.
It is.
This is one of my favorite oversized tees. And I'm not just saying that. If you look at the color on this, if you guys are watching this on video, I washed this shit twice already. It's black as fuck.
Yeah.
How often do you get to wash a black shirt and it still stays as black?
And again, I think that's kind of a testament to our experience in the industry. I feel like, a lot of times when people want to start a clothing line, they have no experience, like with the technicalities and kind of like the actual stuff, education behind
there's so much.
Yeah. It's just people like printing and they're like, oh, that's how you start a clothing line. And they don't know anything about fit, fabric, shrinkage, garment dyeing, like they don't know any of that. So they just think, oh, this looks good. Let me do it. So again, going back to the whole thing, even with the blanks, you can use blanks and you can have it be quality, right? If that's what your circumstances require for whatever reason. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, but you got to know what to look for in blanks. And you got to understand fucking specs, right? Which is measurements for these things, grading, which makes sure the grading is done properly from small to XL, whatever your size chart is, that the measurements make sense, and like kind of the fit that you're looking for. But a lot of people have no clue about this type of shit. And they just think, oh, if I print a cool graphic, there you go. That's my brand. Like now I have a clothing line. But no, there's
tagging, bagging.
Yeah.
Even that stuff. Like it's all in the fucking details.
Exactly. Everything, man. Dude, I've told this story. It took me months just to find our fucking bag manufacturer, because I wanted a specific die cut handle on our bag so that when people get it in the mail, they feel like they went shopping because you hold it like a shopping bag.
Yeah.
Nobody here domestically, I've contacted countless factories when I was searching. None of them could do it. Yeah. I'm like, why? Why is it so hard to do a die cut handle on a fucking poly bag? I don't understand. Either they didn't want to do it because it's an extra step, or they didn't have the technical know-how to do it.
Yeah.
Luckily, somebody I know referred me, and not somebody I know, fucking family. Referred me to somebody they had worked with overseas, and they were able to do it. So like, most people would just be like, no, I'm gonna fucking buy a blank box or fucking buy a blank poly bag, and you know, that's the packaging. But like, I care. I
have it too. Continue.
Yeah.
Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. I care about shit like that where, you know, I want you guys to really fucking feel like it's a customer experience when you get it. There you go. There's the bag right there, you know? So that's what I mean. Like this die cut handle, like when you get this in the mail, I mean, obviously this kind of beat up, but you know, when you get this in the mail, I want it to feel like you went shopping. Wherever your mail is, whether it's in front of your door, at a different, you know, mailbox at a different location, like when you grab it, just even for that instant to feel like you went shopping. And that's why like these things matter to me. And luckily, like we've had our customers recognize things like that. And I've had people hit me up like, yo, I noticed, you know, you guys did this and that. And I'm like, oh shit, dude. Thank you so much for recognizing. I don't even expect that type of recognition, but thank you for recognizing the fucking details.
I mean, the best kind of thing too is when I'm just wearing it and somebody goes, oh, where'd you get that?
Yeah,
like, oh, exactly. Shit, that's fucking tight.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever, because even with GoforBroke, right? Like I enjoyed it. I love the messaging and the meaning was so dope, right? But I'll be honest with you, I don't think anybody ever came up to me, looked at my stuff at GoforBroke and was like, where'd you get that?
Dude, a couple months back, I was going on my way to visit my parents, and I had to pick something up, stop by a plaza. I see this kid head to toe fucking rocking ScrtSociety, right? And I fucking pulled up next to him and I'm like, yo, bro, I see you rocking the ScrtSociety, right? Uh-huh. And then he's like laughing. He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, no clue who I was. That's okay though. You know, like for me, I just thought it was so, because I've seen other people wearing that shit, but like from head to toe, it was my first time, you know? And in another city, fucking like 25 miles away from LA, just to see a kid rocking that shit, I was like, yo, that's fucking dope, man.
Yeah, doesn't know who we are.
Yeah.
But they fucking saw it like, yo, this shit is fucking dope.
Yeah, and like, dude, when we're sending orders out to fucking Australia, to UK, to Canada, like Asia, dude, you know this. There are people who've paid fucking $60 in shipping just for a hat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, the fact that they want to fucking buy a $30-something hat and pay double in shipping for that
is amazing.
It's incredible. It's fucking incredible. So
I think they too enjoy the fact that when they wear it, people ask where they get their shit and like, it's like this brand called ScrtSociety.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard, right? I think the hardest part is that per everybody's advice, it's like, dog, just put it on whatever. It's cheaper. You make more money.
Yeah.
But am I happy with putting that out?
Exactly.
There's this thing about like, I know it's so stupid for a lot of people, right? But there's this idea about legacy. Legacy fucking matters to me.
Absolutely.
Right? It would suck for me to verbally say out loud, I can't believe these clothing companies give me Gildan t-shirts. Then I give out a Gildan t-shirt too. What kind of fucking piece of shit person would I be?
Exactly.
I can't sit there and then say that stuff upset at the fact that I paid $40 for a shirt that I knew cost 5 cents and it feels like fucking sandpaper, which I texted him today. I was like, bro, this shirt feels like sandpaper. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And even then, I knew the quality of our heavyweight oversized tees, but I really knew when I got my Black Friday clothes.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, not just the tees though, man. Our hoodies, our sweats, and like, look, I know for those of you guys who have purchased this stuff, that's the Odin coat, by the way.
We gotta talk about this coat too.
Yeah, like the Odin coat too. This was from our first collection when we did this piece. So for those of you guys who are listening, you can go to ScrtSociety.com, ScrtSociety.com to see what this looks like. It's called the Odin coat. So this has 3/4 sleeves. It got shoulder straps here so you could hang it off your back. I mean, yeah, it looks cool aesthetically, but it's also functional too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always the thing. we can't just do things for the sake of it looking cool. Like there has to be function and practicality behind it too. This is a bonded jersey fabric, which is, I guarantee you see no fucking startup companies using fabric like this.
Yeah.
You know why? Because this fucking, not even high-end streetwear, high-end brands use this type of fabric to make their coats and blazers and shit like that. We did our pants, our coats, and our hoodies on our first collection with this type of shit. And
I'm so mad. The hoodie I fucking love, right?
Yeah.
But I got that hoodie when I was 300 pounds. And so I had to give it away because I couldn't wear it. It was that we didn't, obviously it's a one-time release thing. It's not like we have a back stock for ourselves.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, I miss that hoodie so much, but I can't wear it because it's not made to fit oversized. So it looks doofy on me, you know?
But when we were doing this coat, like
God, I miss that hoodie. That hoodie was fucking sick, dude.
This style, the design style was pretty much inspired by kimono.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the shape and look we were going for. And we have SS embroidery on the back here. But yeah, I mean, look, dude, just the attention to detail is like, I don't mean to throw it like that. I'm sorry.
Disrespect my fucking coat. But that's the thing too, right? So like when you get like the Odin coat, right? I think the feeling that I get that makes me really happy is that I get to look at our previous lines and say, hey, remember that fucking line was dope?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people say that. I mean, yeah, we could probably make more money if we go ahead and do the blank route, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like, oh, what's for the next season? The next season is what can we do to make more money?
Yeah.
Which is a very smart business model. But we're trying to find that medium in between.
That balance.
Where we could put something out and say, yo, we need to make a big paycheck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want people to walk away and feel like they got gypped.
Exactly.
I don't like that because I don't want to feel that way.
Not to mention what you said, we have our own standards,
yeah.
And I'm a fucking man of integrity, man. I'm not gonna give people shit that I wouldn't fucking pay money for and wear myself. You know what I mean? And
this podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you haven't focused on your mental health this year, my friends, what are you waiting for? Listen, I know you because you are me, and we need to talk about the importance of mental health, so stop pushing your thoughts and emotions aside and get the help you need. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room, and you can message your counselor at any time while setting up weekly video or phone sessions. Listen, it's super convenient, and more importantly, it allows you to be in your own safe and comfortable environment if you're not used to traditional therapy. Listen, I've used BetterHelp and it was honestly an amazing experience, and I still use and talk to my counselor till this day. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. Special offer for Genius Brain listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/genius. So visit betterhelp.com/genius. Get that 10% off and work on that mental health, my friend.
I told you this in the text when we were talking earlier. Hype and quality can exist together.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah.
But these days, it seems like it is one or the other. And usually it's the hype that wins out because the marketing dollars are there, or celebrity endorsement, is like whatever the case is, the brand got seen and there's a much broader awareness for it, yet their quality is just not good.
How did like you and Remy come up with or decide to go with what type of fabric for the shirt?
So basically,
it's different.
Yeah. So basically, when we're choosing fabrics, you have to basically get swatches, right? You get swatches of fabric, and you see the hand feel of it, you see like the weight of it, and then based on that, you decide like what type of stuff you want to make, how you want to make it. And you got to understand certain fabrics, like let's say you have you want the fit to kind of like more drape over your body, right? Mm-hmm. Certain fabric is not going to be good for that. Certain weight is not going to be good for that. Or you want something that, I don't know, just feels a little bit more thicker, then you got to get a heavier fabric to use for that, right? So those are all things like we have basically kind of a list of things that we want to achieve with a certain body and style and design. And then from there, that informs us on, okay, what type of fabric should we be looking for? And yeah, we look at all of those, feel it, look at it, consider it, reconsider it. It's not like okay, this is good, boom, done. We sit on it like, okay, going over this again. How do you like the feel of this? How do you like the feel of this? Do you like the weight of this better, or do you like the weight of this better? Then from that point on, once we decide something, we'll go into sample. sampling doesn't mean though that we're going to move forward now with that fabric. If the sample doesn't turn out what we were hoping for, then we have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, this fabric's not working for this type of body, this type of design. You know, let's revisit which fabrics we're gonna pick. So like, oh, dude, the process is just like there's so many fucking things involved, right? And you know, you're essentially an entrepreneur when you're doing something like this, and when you're an entrepreneur with limited resources, you got to wear many different fucking hats. I showed Dave a picture of my place earlier, and when we closed down the business, or when we closed down the office at the beginning of the pandemic, I moved everything into my place. When I tell you there's not an inch of like for me to fucking move around up there, it's crazy. It's fucking, but we did what we needed to do in order to survive, you know, because we didn't know what the future was going to hold at that point. It was brand new territory to everybody.
Like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and not putting out a single fucking product.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
what do you do?
Yeah, and that's why when we came back with this Back to Basics collection, started letting people know about it. Look, we didn't fucking do like advertising for it. We just tapped into our community of people who already know our brand, who've purchased something or engaged with us on some level. Just let our community know, hey, we're making a comeback. This is what's been going on up until this point. Like I was communicating with them throughout the process of like what's going on, why we haven't been releasing new stuff, what's taking so long, and explaining to them, okay, we've kind of like doubled down now and going all in on making a comeback.
Yeah.
And the fucking response we got was incredible. You know, it was fucking incredible. Like I was blown away because I didn't have much expectation. I'm like, dude, we haven't done new stuff in so long. It's literally going to be like we're starting over again.
Yeah.
And we're finding an audience and finding a customer base.
There's like these, a certain level of like pride that goes into, you know, things that you create. You know, and like, I think like doing clothing too, it's such an art form, right? Mm-hmm. When you wear clothes, it can literally change your mood.
Yeah.
How you look, how you feel. It's something that's very important to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be a part of something that moves past the idea of, oh, you're wearing that specific design, like from this specific person versus does it look good?
Right.
And I've had a lot of issues with this because I've seen a lot of shit that came out that's just fucking trash from a lot of high name brands simply because it's just dope to say that you had something from there.
Yeah.
And it's these statement pieces that aren't even really statement pieces. They're shit. Like I think people, when they buy it, they know it. You know, when you wear a Kanye West shirt, right? And it's just a white tee and he's selling it for $200. The only way I know it's a Kanye West shirt is if you tell me it's a Kanye West shirt. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way I would have known you got it from like a Yeezy line.
But it's the flex.
It's the flex behind it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay. And then, you know, Yeezy will say, or Ye will say, hey, this is all cut and sew, the fabric, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Well, guess what? We do it too, but we do it at a quarter of the price.
And better.
and better.
I mean,
hands down. I don't give a fuck.
Look, I will gladly put up our shit against the best of them out there. It's just we don't have the name value and the brand value as some of these bigger brands and companies. And so, you know, it's always, you alluded to it earlier about like finding that balance, right? Between being a businessman and a creative and just trying to find that perfect medium between the two. And at the end of the day, like the guiding principle still is like, man, I'm not going to put shit out there that I wouldn't pay and wear myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I want people to feel the same way. Like, dude, when somebody purchases every fucking order that we get, I appreciate that shit. You know what I mean? Because they're supporting something. Not only are they fueling like a dream and a passion project, but it's something that we work tirelessly for. Like the amount of sacrifices that I've had to make, you know what I mean? To even get, because we could have folded a long time ago. You know what I mean? But for me, like, yeah, I was making good fucking money, not doing this shit, but something else. But I left that because making good money is not what matters to me. It's not on the top of my priority list. It's about doing something that's meaningful and fulfilling to me.
It's that legacy thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's hard, man. Like it's hard to explain sometimes when, like we talked about it too, like the disheartening thing. It's like you see these companies who pretend to do what we do and people eat it up. And we know it's like,
you know, but to be fair about that, maybe they're not necessarily knowingly misguiding their customers. They just don't know better.
Yeah.
They think their shit is good, but that's because they don't have experience in the industry. They've never made clothes before on a very technical level, working at like major companies. This is maybe their first foray into like making clothes. Yeah. And they think it's the shit, but actually it's just shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's hard because here's a brand that I fucking love.
Yeah.
Right? Human made.
Okay.
But fuck, that price is pricey, dude. I think their clothes is dope. Like I love their shit. I got a human made cap. I got a shirt from them. And let me tell you something. I got that shit on a fucking flash sale, and they rarely do that shit. Very rarely.
Yeah.
And that shit was still expensive. I just wanted it because number one, their fit tends to be a lot smaller because it's geared towards a Japanese crowd. So they always suggest to go up in a size or two if you're American.
Yeah.
But even like the quality of their shit is dope. And I think that's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hard for me to spend $400 on a coat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, this is hard off. This like, they had this one human made. It was just like a khaki, just like an outdoor coat, right? It was like $480.
Yeah.
But I liked the way it looked. I was like, this shit looks fucking dope. And you could tell like the attention to detail that they have on their pieces. But $500? You know what I'm saying? Because of who it's attached to.
Yeah.
It's a hard buy for me.
No, for sure.
Like, unless somebody wants to gift it.
My Amazon wish list.
Like shout outs to Human Made, and I also know because Pharrell's attached to it. And I think like BBC stuff, Billionaire Boys Club, I think their shit is dope. I've been rocking their shit for years.
Yeah.
So there's definitely brands who still do it really well. We just want to be a part of that conversation as well.
No, for sure. And again, going like the coat that you mentioned, going back to our coat, I know for a fact, like some of the high-end wear brands that were using this exact fabric, like I was saying earlier, who do sell their coats for like $500, $600, and people might look at our price point. I think our original price point for this when we released it, I believe was like $175. People might look at that and be like, oh, that's too expensive. But it's because they have no context. They don't have perspective.
I just told you about a coat that costs $500.
Yeah.
And it's a fraction of it.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of the marketing, the educational part of it, right? Teaching consumers why this is value, why we're giving you bang for your buck. And the goal is obviously like from a business standpoint that we can grow so we can do bigger and better projects. And, we can make even doper shit with even better quality and like make our lines and collections a lot more robust. Because, dude, there's so many things I still wanted. I want to do, even though our shit is marketed as unisex, and we do have a pretty good chunk of female customers, I do want to make like a dedicated women's line. I also want to do kids line of stuff. And like, that's not all because like, oh, I want to make more money. It's just something that intrigues me. You know?
I can't wait till we start doing denim.
Dude, denim is something that I wanted to do at the very beginning, but it's just too expensive.
I cannot. Well, hurry up and buy our shit so we can make you guys better stuff, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Denim is also one of those things that's very hard to tackle.
Absolutely hard. It's so fucking hard.
It's so hard. Like, you have no idea. Like, I've probably in the last 2 years bought so many different denim jackets, and I've hated all of them. It's been hard.
Yeah.
Like, the way that it fits, like just the type of denim that they're using, just everything about it. And I'm like, I don't like these, man. Like there's something missing about it. So I'm like, that's the one thing too. Like every Secret Society piece I got one of these jokes that one of my friends, he goes, I always see you wear that washed Secret Society fucking shirt in every video. I was like, you know why? Because it's my most comfortable shirt. I'm not trying to like promote it. It's the most comfortable shirt that I own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I asked this fool to give me 2 of each color. And I wore them down to the fucking thread.
Yeah, to those holes in them.
There's holes in them. I had to finally let go of 3 of them because I wore them too much.
Well, that's when you transition to PJs. You wear them as PJs.
Now that they're PJs, but even then as PJs, they got obliterated in the washer because I wore them so much during pandemic because they were my most comfortable favorite shirt.
Yeah.
And now this one is like my favorite one.
Yeah.
Soon this will have holes in it.
Yeah.
I wear my shit out, dude.
So that's something that I can promise, anybody listening who's interested in Secret Society shit or already a customer of Secret Society is that like, look, whether we're cutting and sewing or using blanks, we're always going to have the same attention to detail. we're always going to look at it from a standpoint of like, okay, does this fit with what we're trying to do, what we're trying to create? And is there value here for the customer if they spend their money and purchase this product? And if those checkboxes aren't checked, then it's a hard pass for me. Move on to something else then, And I think for as long as we continue to do this, for as long as I do this, all those guiding principles are going to exist. The moment I start compromising on those things is when I just say, you know what, I'm done with it then. Like if I can't realistically execute on things the way that I want to, that I feel like makes it worth it for people, then there's no point doing it anymore. Because that's what is, despite all the headaches and the stress and, it still makes me feel fulfilled and happy that I'm providing. It's the classic case of, oh, you think you could do it better? Then you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. And we are doing it better. It's just people don't recognize that because our brand awareness is not on the level of some of these other brands.
Yeah.
So the hope and goal is that ScrtSociety becomes synonymous with value in every sense of the word. And that's what I hope people listening in and have not ever bought anything from us understand. And if you do decide to take that plunge to purchase something from us, hopefully you'll see what it is that we're talking about.
That's kind of like that space when I look at it. It reminds me a little bit of like what Zara did for like contemporary basics, right? Because before that, it was Forever 21 and H&M. And their stuff falls apart.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So if you need something really quick for a weekend, and you're going to go out of town, it's like, cool, I'll get this $10 shirt, this fucking $12 jeans or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a temporary thing.
It's a temporary thing because you're going to get rid of it within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? And then Zara stepped in. It's like, we can do a portion of what they do, but we'll give you something a little better.
Yeah. The price might be a little bit higher, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. And it's still relatively affordable.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And so like, I kind of picture ScrtSociety fulfilling that role for, that streetwear contemporary fashion basics.
Yeah.
And that's where I see us at.
Yeah.
And it's been happening that way where people, our returning customer base understands that. They go, no matter what, wherever else we've went or gone, the fashion basics that they have in terms of like streetwear, you're not going to get it anywhere else at the price that we're giving it to you. Like I'm telling you, you guys go get a heavyweight oversized tee and then buy one of ours and do the comparison.
Yeah.
After you wash it, after you look, touch, and feel it, you will understand why it's better.
And how it fits on you.
How it fits is the most important part.
Yeah. And I think there are definitely, again, going back to the whole education thing, there are a group of customers who might not be too in tune with fashion and this whole oversized thing, and they might get something and think, oh, this thing is too big. But we have the details on the product description.
It's oversized.
Yeah, we say it's a classic fit or oversized fit, and we even say on these new tees from the Back to Basics collection, if you want a more like a classic fit, then size down. So for example, if you wear a medium, get a size small, because if that's the way you like it, that's the way you like it. I'm not knocking it. But if you get it and you say, hey, this is way too big, well, we got all the information we say it's oversized. We say to size down. I don't know what else I can tell you about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, that again, I'm not blaming people for not being aware of kind of like the fashion trends and, the whole thing, but just do a little bit of reading. It's right there.
Yeah.
Make it as easy as possible for you guys to understand what it is that you're getting,
Yeah. What do we have planned next?
So we got those, I'm not going to say, fuck it. I'll say it. The bag, so we got that coming in the pipeline. So this is not this sling bag. We already got this. This is the Flint sling bag, but
that's my everyday sling.
Yeah, we got, dude, people have been fucking loving this shit because it's the perfect size. It's water resistant. It doesn't do more than you need it to do. It does exactly what you need it to do. And I believe the price for this is $35. So
fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and it comes with the wrist strap. You know what I mean? Like, which one of these sling bags do you see? That's what I'm saying. These little attention to detail. And it serves a function. Yes, it looks cooler with this on here, but if you want to take off these shoulder straps and just carry it on your wrist like this, it serves a functional and practical purpose too.
If you're an Asian person out there and you're getting Asian attacked, Put some fucking coins in that shit and start swinging that thing, baby, like a mace. Too soon? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can fit it in here easily.
Hey, shout out to the dude in junior high. Not today, motherfucker.
Not today.
If he had that sling back, he wouldn't have to bring out that fucking table leg
in his pants.
And started. He would have had the fucking sling back.
You could have just had your taser and your mace right here, bro. Just open it up.
Shit.
Boom.
He would have filled that shit with yams and started beating the shit out of somebody with it.
So our next thing that's coming in the pipeline is this duffel backpack. That,
we have the sample.
Yeah. That basically, no, let's save that.
Yeah.
I want them to see it, in its entirety. That's the prototype that Dave has here. But yeah, it's gonna kind of be like your everyday essentials bag, whether it's for the gym, for a weekend getaway. Hey,
it could be for a getaway too, dude.
You can do a getaway too, but weekend getaway. And the dope shit about this is it's a duffel bag that doubles up as a backpack. So it's called the duffel backpack.
It's the shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped. You didn't bring me one today, but it's all good.
Yeah, it has every compartment you could possibly need. And the form factor, I feel like, is perfect because it's not too big and it's not too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these pieces that we have that I'm so happy about. I know Barbell Brigade has their, one of the pieces that I really love from Barbell Brigade is their, they have their, it's like this, it's called their Mark II shorts.
Okay.
But it's one of the most comfortable shorts I've ever worn.
Yeah.
And it's, it could be used as a swim trunk or a gym short.
Yeah.
And fucking dope. And I think they got put on I forgot what publication it was, but it's something big. But it was like top 10 best workout shorts of the year, and they were put on one of it.
Nice.
It's like number 2 or something like that. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And it's a small brand.
Yeah.
And they were in the likes of Nike, Adidas, and everything else, and their brand was there. And those are those pieces that really matter. I mean, they're in the fitness space and we're in something else.
Yeah.
But we're trying to carve out that space in this area. And I think once ScrtSociety becomes that, it's going to be a really happy day for me.
Oh, for sure.
Where people are
for all of us, man.
For all of us. When people see this and they're wearing it every day, it's one of those goals of mine.
Yeah.
I know I have these weird tick goals. You're like, aren't you a comedian? Aren't you? But there's also other stuff that I want to do along the way.
Yeah.
And everything that I've done so far that I believe anyways has had to deal with a certain level of quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Junbi Matcha, right? We now have, we have currently opened 4 stores, and we have a potential 4 or 5 opening up right now.
Yeah.
And it's because of the attention to detail behind that, right? That was, even with that brand too, it has to deal with accessibility.
Yeah.
It's high-end matcha done in a casual way to show people listen, you don't need a fucking geisha to come out and play a little lute.
You don't have to be one of these guys,
to drink high quality matcha. Yeah. And that's the thing that happened with matcha too. People were being served the shittiest form of matcha, and they were paying a premium price.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were paying a premium price.
Like, Mike.
Hey man, they're paying a premium price for it. They couldn't stop, They're getting dipped and I couldn't say anything about it. But they're paying a premium for culinary grade matcha. And so with the brand that we worked on was, listen, this is your everyday drink, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to let go of quality. This is the highest quality grade matcha that you can get at this price. And the way that we do is that we work with the farms. So that's why we can serve it at the price that we have. You may get a matcha drink somewhere else and it might be even a little more expensive or the same price, but it's not the same matcha that we have.
Right.
I know this for a fact. I've served it to so many Japanese people. The same thing that they get. They go, I miss this matcha because I don't live in Japan anymore.
Mm.
And that's
the greatest compliment.
The greatest fucking compliment you could ever get hands down.
Sure.
It's essentially the same thing that we do with this brand, which is why I invested into it.
Yeah.
It's what we get to bring to people for the price that we have.
Yeah.
And it really does make things accessible.
And look, man, when that resonates with people, just like the compliment about, it reminds me of Japan matcha. When people so any of you guys who are listening or watching, when people message me and tell me how much they like the shit and it resonates with them, bro, it's it fucking makes my day, makes my week, because the blood, sweat, and tears are getting recognized on some level. And I don't have this expectation for people to recognize every little thing that goes into this. No, that's beyond their knowledge, their scope of knowledge for everyday things, right? Because it can get highly technical. But if you just like it and you felt it was money well spent, and you tell me, you take a moment to just let me know, hey, I fuck with it, dude, that's like such a fucking great feeling because it's like, okay, you know what? We're doing something right.
Yeah.
And look, man, from the very first collection, like we fucking did it on a level that I would argue, I mean, it's an arbitrary number. I can't confirm this, but I would say like 99% of startups don't do. To this day, even like our lookbook video, people still fucking compliment us on that. Yeah. Shout out to Brian Dos Reis. You know, he
Del Rios.
That's our homie Brian. He's in Boston. Fucking talented videographer. Yeah, visionary, all of that. And he really fucking slaved away to like make this to make the vision come true in this, so shout out to him. But yeah, we still get compliments to this day about that because again, you know why? No matter what, even though we're not recognized on a worldwide level, you cannot knock on the fucking quality from the visuals to the clothing, everything. And that was always the thing, man, is like, we got to make sure that's on lock, marketing. Yeah, sure. I wish I had more money for fucking marketing.
Even like the photos that we had were fucking amazing. Shout out to fucking Justin Vasseur, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Justin at the time, now Justin, it works for Barbell Brigade, but Justin at the time was living in Vegas. Dave hit him up. I remember this specifically. We were in your car. We had a group call with him. You're like, I know this kid. He's a talented photographer. He probably would be down. We talked with him. And I gave him the little pitch of what the brand was about.
He did such an amazing job.
Yeah, and he came through from fucking Vegas, didn't sleep. And Justin knows this too. I've always appreciated what he did on that thing too, because it was a fucking grueling process, like 5 days. Each day, I think I was running on like 2 hours of sleep, 20-hour days.
Yeah, and then, from that point on, his work ethic was great. I hooked him up with Barbell. And now he works for Barbell.
Right. So,
fuck.
Yeah. No. Justin is somebody that like we've worked with. He actually shot one of our product shots for what was it? I think it was the box tees. Yeah, I think he did the K-Town collection and the box tees. Like he did the product shoot for us. So it was great to work with him again on it. But yeah, shout out to Justin, very talented guy too. But yeah, dude, from the very beginning, I feel like we did infinitely more in terms of like our visuals to the quality of our products and our offering than startup brands tend to do. And it made me so happy that people recognize that and still recognize that. And I think it's a testament when you do man, we're not nowhere near a household name, but yet again, people from fucking different countries are willing to pay 50, 60, 70 bucks in shipping for one t-shirt, one hat. And I'm like, yo, that's incredible. Hey, real talk, I wouldn't even do that. No matter how much I like a brand, I wouldn't fucking pay $70 in shipping to get a fucking hat. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it,
but I appreciate that shit to the fullest because even I wouldn't do it. And I'm like, damn, you think that shit's dope enough for you to do it? Yo, that's fucking love right there. So man, I hope, bro. I hope we can keep the fucking wheels turning with this shit. And it's always a struggle because we have a fucking skeleton crew with limited resources, and we're still always trying to hold that high level across the board, but it's not always easy.
Yeah.
You always need this, more money and more time, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that we always have less of and not enough of, and we're still trying to maintain our guiding principles.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully, anyway, people have recognized that to this point, and hopefully we just, continue to do bigger and better things moving forward, man.
I mean, it was kind of crazy too, because I think like one of the things that kind of helped me reiterate and made me really happy about what we were doing is, it's actually sad though. It's, the passing of VIrgil Abloh.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like the stamp that he made in fashion is nuts.
Yeah. It's timeless. It's going to be timeless. He's in the history books, And
look, had no idea he was suffering from cancer.
I know, me too. I think it's one of those things where even like Chadwick Boseman, right? A lot of people had no fucking clue he was battling cancer, just like doing what they do, being great at it, suffering quietly and privately, but still excelling at what they do.
The craziest thing too, like I remember he came out with the Air Max. There was the Mentas and the original Off-Whites, right? The Air Max 97s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing I copped. Didn't leave it in the box because I love the shoes. I wear them all the time. But that was one of those things where I was like, oh, this is hype, but this shit's fucking dope. And I bought it, and I still love those shoes till this day. I wanted to get Air Max Mentas, but I was too late on it, and they were worth like buying it was like $2,000. I'm not paying $2,000 for shoes.
Right.
I think it's worth like $5,000 or something now. But him passing away reminded me like you could do both.
Yeah,
you could have hype and you could have quality.
Right.
His shit was fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
Like he had the what's it called, the Essentials collection too, which was really fucking dope too. Like all the stuff that he's touched and he's done, he left a stamp. He left a legacy behind, right? And obviously there's a lot of celebrity endorsements behind it, but that didn't change the fact that his designs were fucking dope.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Everybody who has a VIrgil Abloh piece knows that it's dope.
Yeah. And look, man, that's like again, just paying attention to the details, because those details mattered, you know? And without that, honestly, the most likely end result is just making a subpar product. Yeah. You know, because it's the small things that make a difference. Look, when we were doing like our hoodies and making our pants, it's called bar tacking, where you reinforce certain parts of the clothing where pressure tends to be because your hands are slipping in and out of it. You want this part bar tacked so that it's reinforced and prevents ripping, tearing. Right? Even our production guy was like, dude, why you gotta do that? I'm like, because it matters, man. And I will
just fucking do it, dude.
Yeah,
no.
I will pay the extra money to do it, you know? Even though that it eats into our margins, it doesn't matter, because for me, I'm like, that should be a standard, you know? Again, the value part. And so, yeah, there are times when a lot of these brands are getting away with just doing the bare minimum, you know, and maximizing their profits. From a business standpoint, I can't knock that, you know, I cannot knock that, because it is a business at the end of the day. But like we keep saying, you can do both, you know, you can do both and still be successful. And we'll see what the future holds, right? At this point, we made a strong comeback with Back to Basics. Our Black Friday sale was amazing. And so November was a great month. It was a great way to come back. But how we do in December in 2022, we'll see, man. But the focus is there now. I'm fully committed. Again, you guys have no idea what I sacrifice for this shit. It's at the sacrifice of my fucking comfort from every level, financially, mentally, physically, everything. Like when I'm talking about giving blood, sweat, and tears, I mean it, literally, man, and figuratively.
Okay, you know how I was crying to the homie after I got a gun pulled on him? This will calm me up. I was like, how you doing that drink? Man, this shit is hard, bro. This was crying, oh, fuck.
You know, your boy got to vent every once in a while, right? It's healthy. It's healthy to release. Can't keep it all pent up, you know?
Yeah, but, yeah, it's hard to put into words, you know, just to go back to that whole thing of, should you start a clothing line? Yeah, you can. Just know what it entails. It's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work and, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and passion behind it.
Yeah.
If you want to just do merch, anybody can do merch. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think one of the things too, people have always asked, how come, where's your merch at? Listen, if I do merch, it has to be dope.
Right.
Because you're going to have to want to wear it just like the way I want to wear my shit. You know, and it's so weird. It's like, well, you don't have to make merch like a clothing line. It's for money. I know, but you know, when have I ever done just anything solely for money? I've been on this space now for 11, 12 years, and it's never been that way. There's so many things I could have done for money that would have made me balling out of my mind.
Right.
But then every day it would eat at me, you know? Like I got to this point doing some shit that I didn't respect.
Right.
And it would just kill me.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people can be okay with that. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately, because I could have made my life a lot easier.
I wish I was.
We both know that.
Let me tell you something. You could have done something very simple. And it just pisses me off to this day. All he had to do was just fucking put a ring on it.
But, you know, again, it's just one of those things where like, man, I'm a man of principles. I'm a man of integrity. And as cliche as that might sound, or as stupid as that might sound, it's the truth, man. And my decisions and the way I've lived my life are proof of that. There's no inconsistency in any of the decisions I made where I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. You know, like I'm just going to let go of this shit and just make more money instead. Like, look, man, everybody needs money. But
you don't think I could have done pranks and just punched old people on the streets?
Exactly.
You don't think I could have done that?
Yeah. I remember, look, that's a conversation I remember you and I having like years back when, you know, you were growing and I think you had like just crossed over the 1 million mark with your subscribers. And like your whole content creation process. And I remember you telling me at that point, like quality still matters to you.
Yeah.
Like it's not about just pumping out whatever is going to get the most views and be the easiest to do, because you could have done it very easily.
I could have dressed up as Kim Jong-un and scared people. That would have been easy.
Yeah.
And then I would have made fucking millions of views. And at that time, the way it was monetized,
right,
I would have made millions.
Right.
I don't ever look back at that and say, oh, I wish I would have done it.
Yeah.
Because the life that I have now is also just as great. Also, too, like, you know, I talk about not giving a fuck what people think, but there are certain people in my circle who are family to me that, yeah, their opinions do matter because I allow it to matter to me because of who these people are and placed in my life. I guarantee you there's no way I would have done stuff that was soul stripping, that's demeaning, and I made millions, and those friends of mine would have still been my friends because they can't be around somebody they don't respect. And I don't want to be around myself if I don't respect myself either.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't even hold it against them. It's like, you know what? They stopped being around me because they couldn't, they can't look at me. And I get it. And I don't want to live like that. That's just too hard.
Yeah.
And people was like, well, you're rich and balling. I keep telling this people, you all think fucking money is everything. Money is not fucking everything.
Yeah.
You and I, we're all going to fucking die. You cannot take that shit with you.
And look, that's coming from two people who grew up poor. You know what I mean?
Poor shit. Yeah. You literally cannot take any of that shit with you. You cannot take money with you. You cannot take any of that stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can leave behind is what you create.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, man, I'm not saying that money doesn't make things easier, that money doesn't give you freedom. Of course, it does, provides all those things. But when you're so money centric and money driven and think money is the end all be all, and you fucking, you know, disregard every other thing in life, you're going to find out the hard way. You're going to be lonely with a lot of money, nobody to share it with, and be like, what the fuck is my life?
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this as an assumption, right? You have to understand too, I'm in an industry and in the company of people who have this type of money, and
they got no real ones around.
I see them, and their life actually scares me.
Yeah.
It scares me, man. Like, even these young people too that are young YouTubers, they watched me growing up, right? And they have hella money.
Yeah.
Because of the content that they make. And I'll ask them a simple question. Like I asked this young girl who was killing it in like the YouTube food world, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go, who are your friends? She goes, I don't have friends. And I'm like, I know this sounds harsh, but I'd kill myself. Yeah. It's like I traded everything in the world to work every day to not have a single fucking bond.
Yeah.
At like the age of what, 25, 26, you don't have a single fucking friend.
It's one of the saddest things you can hear, to be honest.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
And then they're like, I don't trust. He's like, how do you don't trust people when you don't know people? You know absolutely shit all else. And then you see them, they're laughing, they're doing all this other stuff, and you meet them in person. They're the most miserable people you've ever met in your life. And they're like in their 20s. It's like,
yeah.
I see that, and that shit scares me. And I see it with older people too, who have traded everything for it.
Yeah.
And they go, I can't trust anybody. It's like, that's because of the life you chose.
Yeah.
That is your choice. You made that choice to prioritize money and use people around you to get where you needed to be. So this is where you're at.
Exactly. You reap what you sow, right? And I think a lot of times, like, people just have these unrealistic expectations of what life is going to be. Once, you know, oh, I make all this money, then life is going to be like this.
Here's my greatest example of somebody who I admire, right? Doesn't mean I next is like I, you know, worship this guy or anything else like that. But Joe Rogan, he has created his own empire.
He has.
And he supports his own friends.
Mad props to
and there's not a single company that can control him.
Right.
He's even built his own company on it, and it makes millions. He did it his own way.
Yeah.
And everybody else followed suit. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that popularized, you know, podcasting for a lot of people out there.
And he wasn't even the originator.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
There was Adam Carolla, and really the original podcast was probably fucking what's-his-face, Howard Stern.
Yeah, Howard Stern. Well, even Bill Burr was doing a podcast before Joe Rogan.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at somebody like Joe Rogan, he didn't have to cut corners in his own integrity.
Yeah.
You know, you may not find him funny. You may find him to be too fucking whatever, liberal or too right-wing or whatever the fuck it is, right? Yeah. The thing that I'm talking about him is that he created his own empire, his own way, and made his own money. He has both his integrity intact and also the money that came along with it.
And you know, Dana White, the president of UFC, always says this. Joe Rogan doesn't come here and commentate because he needs the money. Yeah. It's because he loves it. He actually has fun doing it.
He does stand up, not because he needs the money.
Right.
It's because he loves it.
Right.
He signed a gajillion-dollar deal with Spotify. I know. He is fine for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He is okay. okay, he does things because he loves it, right?
Yeah.
He interviews people on his podcast because he's curious about the stuff that they want to talk about. That's what I appreciate about him the most.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%, man, is that when you do things your own way and still are able to have success with it. Now, let's provide context here. It's rare, very rare, right?
Yeah. Joe Rogan is a Joe Rogan.
Right. Joe Rogan is kind of like a Joe Rogan, but there are people who will gladly sell their soul to have the success Joe Rogan has as well. Yeah. There's more people like that. I just can't be one of them.
Yeah.
That's
all
I'm saying.
He didn't have to do it. So it's like, I know it's a slim chance, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching that happen because I don't know how many times I've been to these stupid little fucking Hollywood soirees and shit like that, and everybody's just sucking each other's dick off, even though I know the type of shit that they say about each other behind each other's back. I know everything.
Exactly. As soon as their back's turned, even in the same room, they're talking shit.
Yes.
And then they come around, hey, ha, ha. It's like, oh my God, man, you fake ass bitch.
Dude, it happens all the fucking time. Yeah. And I see it every day. Like, some of these people come up to me, right? And they do, man, I really appreciate your work. And I'll be like, no, you don't. You don't know who the fuck I am. Yeah. You absolutely know shit all else. I was like, I know what you do know about me, though. I was like, you know, I got a big mouth. I was like, you know that if I don't like you and you do something really stupid, I'm not going to just not say it because you're Asian.
Yeah.
I will fucking rip you a new one because I am in my own world.
Right.
Tomorrow, all this stuff disappears. I'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely okay. You cannot control me whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm depending on the paycheck. Now I know.
There's so a little like, caveat there.
And listen, you know, when people listen to this podcast, you know my reputation. I know my reputation in the Hollywood circle. I'm considered a liability. Like they look at me like, oh, this kid doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I can throw an opportunity at him. Like he knows. It's like I've heard like peers in my circle. It's like, dude, you did that podcast that you didn't like Shang-Chi. So the fuck what? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
They go, oh, what if like Simu wants to work with you? If he wants to work with you, he'll want to work with me.
Yeah.
If he doesn't because I didn't like a movie that he didn't create, that he got paid for, that he's still famous for, he can suck my fucking dick.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Right.
Nothing against the guy. And I'm just using him as an example because of what people said to me.
Yeah.
You know, this is nothing, it has nothing to do with it. But it's just like using him as an example of why I can't say I like a movie or not because of, how it's going to make me personally look. I'm not in your Hollywood world.
Yeah.
You stay in Hollywood. You do that type of stuff. I have a great life.
Absolutely.
And so, I'm not going out of my way, but if people go, hey, review Shang-Chi, because I want to know what you thought about the movie. And then I go, oh, it was the best movie ever because of feelings. That's inauthentic. I'll give it a fair try. And by the way, like I said before, 1 million times over, everybody who was mad about that review, I watched it 3 times. And then I did a review on it.
Yeah.
Or twice. And then I watched it again.
Yeah.
And then the third time I watched it, I shut it off halfway. So I watched that movie more than you did. So I actually put my money where my mouth is. So you can't say shit to me.
Yeah.
So I gave it 3 tries.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think, at the end of the day too, it's like, I understand how these circles run and I know what people have to do. Like being in those like social circles where they're just like, oh man, hey bro, I love your stuff, blah, blah. I could literally tell them, it's like, oh, what do you like? Which video?
It's like, oh, you know, the one you did like last week.
Yeah. I was like, and the funny thing is, like going into one of these recent stuff that I went to, people know who I am. They know me very fucking well. They see me in the audition rooms. They saw Gook. And they listen to the podcast. Because guess what? The same people that came up to me, they were like, oh, dude, like, I didn't like Shang-Chi either. And they go, oh, I'm so glad that you said that shit because we need honesty. Well, you say it. Because they're scared. Exactly.
They don't want to burn bridges.
So you want me to burn alive. You want me to take all the criticism because I get to represent how you feel.
Yeah.
But then you'll shake hand and smooth with everybody else and throw me down a fucking set of stairs just to make you look good.
Yeah.
Cool. I know where you're at.
No integrity, man. That's what I'm saying. No integrity, no backbone. It's like if you're not doing and saying stuff because you think it might be an unpopular opinion and it might burn some bridges with potential people that you can work with. Look, some people could look at that and be like, oh, you know, that's stupid from a business perspective, right? But business isn't everything, man. Money isn't everything.
But that's what YouTube did for me. And this is I say it because I've done it, right?
Yeah.
I was denied roles. I was denied auditions because of who I am, and I proved people wrong. I didn't get to do my own stand-up shows. I got pushed back and back. And every time I was trying to do stand-up, I got a 5-minute spot, 10-minute spot.
Yeah.
What did I do? I blew up my name on YouTube and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do my own 30-minute show. I'll go out to these colleges, I'll pull out a show and people will come through. I just did a Genius Brain show, 300 people showed up. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I will create my own fucking path. It may not be a big deal to you because it's not 10,000 people, but those 300 people that came to that show fuck with me heavy.
Exactly. And that's what matters. That's what fucking matters. The same thing goes for ScrtSociety that I talk about with these customers who support us. That's why fucking it touches me, man. It really touches me. My fucking cold black heart.
Yeah.
it warms it up.
But he won't cry. This wasn't crying. This wasn't cried in 20 years.
Yeah, I might be a serial killer, but that's a different story, you know? No, but that's what I'm saying is because I know like the people who's been fucking with us since day one, they know, man. They know and they understand and they've been riding with us till now. Because, dude, think about how many different things are fighting for people's attention in this day and age. Not just clothing, anything. Everything, right? And the fact that the response we got with the Back to Basics collection when it dropped means they were waiting.
Yeah.
They were waiting for us to come out with new shit.
Yeah, and thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so fucking much, man. Because you didn't have to. You could have just fucking spent your money and time.
And the cool thing was, I promoted it zero.
That's the thing. Well, let's be fair though. In the beginning, you helped the.
Yeah, I'm saying with this new line,
right?
Which is like I haven't talked about. I mean, we're in transitions right now of fulfillment and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of hands off right now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice to know that the brand is surviving not because of who I am,
right?
It's because people like the clothes.
With it,
and there's something that's irreplaceable about that feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to describe.
And the Back to Basics marketing campaign?
$0
were spent on that. It was just to our community.
It was just to our community, our emails, and that's it.
Yes, man. And look, even our Instagram account, like we were talking about this before of like how engagement has dropped off significantly just across the board for Instagram now, right? Like we were so inactive on our Instagram account, like when we were posting stuff, it was like abysmal. So it's not even because a bunch of people are seeing it on Instagram. It's literally our fucking community of people who's been riding with us. And again, for those of you guys watching or listening, I appreciate that shit. Like it's seriously fucking from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate that. And that's one of those things that keep me going, man. Yeah. Because I'm like, if I didn't have that and we got no customers, then you're like, what the fuck? I'm not fucking just making clothes for myself to wear or for just us to wear. I can do that too, for fun. This isn't for fun. This is like a fucking passion.
Yeah, I'm not giving the advice to people either to say like, hey, live with your pride and be poor. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
absolutely.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's absolutely dumb.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that there's a way and a path to kind of meet in the middle. And I think that middle spot is a very good spot to be at. Right?
Yeah.
Is to live in reality, but also not to, shed everything about your humanity just for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people really get that time is very finite here and what you say and do really matters.
Yeah.
And you can only do it to the best of your ability. But if you only chase the dollar, and once again, this is coming from people who grew up really, really poor. Like I've seen it more often than not, right? How living a certain lifestyle leads to a certain way. Here's the biggest example. If you guys read Will Smith's fucking book, you'll see a representation. This is Will Smith, the guy who's at the peak of everything, his influence, his power, whatever. This guy was literally fucking so much. Anytime he came, he threw up.
That's crazy. I never even heard of that.
I've never in my life. This is at a young time. I would masturbate so much and I felt fine. My dick was raw, but I would not throw up. But, Will Smith talks about his ups and downs dealing with like the industry, all this other stuff, losing all his money, blah, 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 the hard work. And look at somebody like that. He's literally showing you these life lessons. And these are people that you admire. Come on. Like, how many times can people who you look up to tell you the same advice and for you still not to get it and understand
it,
right? How is it that there's people who don't know anything about Twitter, social media, Instagram, Facebook, fucking Snapchat, whatever? How are they so happy when you say that you need to be happy because you have these numerical values that depict what you're worth?
Yeah.
But they don't have that and they live completely happy. They don't have what you have.
Yeah.
They don't have the car, the roof, the fancy shit, whatever. So who are you to tell these people that they're not happy? That's your definition of happiness. Your misery is based on what the position that you put yourself in right now, right? Not all the time, but I'm saying for people who live in a first world country who have first world problems.
Right.
I can't tell my friends who I know who aren't envious of me at all. That they're not happy because they don't have what I was like, well, how can you be happy? You're like, people, you're not recognized. You know what I mean? You don't own this type of stuff. And they'll be like, fuck you. You know? Fucking tell me if I'm happy or not. Yeah. Based on what? Like, based on what? And at the same time, too, if you're somebody who feels like that's your mode of happiness, then go for it. I'm just telling you from my personal experience, being in the industry that you want to be in and the position you want to be in, I know 9 times out of 10 that those people are left with not very much.
Yeah.
And because it hasn't been disproven to me a majority of the time, and you might throw examples of me at people, but I'll tell you that those people that I know the opposite story because I know them personally. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
They do it for the fucking paycheck.
Yeah.
I know they do it for the paycheck because I see how miserable they are.
Yeah.
And they always asked, I met up with somebody for lunch at the beginning of pandemic, and they literally met me up to ask me, they go, why are you always so happy? They're like, I don't get it. Like, why are you always so happy? I'm like, because I don't complain. You know what I mean? I was like, what are you searching for? And this person is an actress. And I'm like, why are you an actress? Right? Because the way you talk about art, to me, it's very vapid. It's very, you talk about art in the way that you feel like you should talk about art, not because you actually care. Like, oh, this artist, this movie, blah, blah, blah. The way that. Why are you talking about this while we're having lunch?
Yeah.
It's because you want me to know how knowledgeable you are about acting.
So maybe the better question in that instance isn't why I'm happy. Why are you unhappy?
Exactly. And this person started tearing up. They're like, what is it that you have? I was like, I don't care about the stuff you care about. I was like, I'm in this industry. I do what I do, but you know what I care about? My friendships. The fucking ramen I'm gonna eat tomorrow morning with 2 poached eggs.
Yeah.
And my mom's kimchi that she made me.
Yeah.
And then that's what I care about.
Yeah.
My value, my sense of values are so different compared to you. So because you value something that's so fucking fleeting, booking this role because of how it makes you look. So you don't want to look like a failure to your parents. You don't want to look like a failure to your friend. You don't want to go. I don't worry about any of that shit. I said, I want to do YouTube because YouTube makes me happy. When YouTube stopped making me happy, I started to do film. I did the Sundance film. Cool, I did that. I want to do food. So I started doing food. I did stuff that I found the balance between making money and then also having integrity.
Right.
And this is what I do.
Right.
You can never tell me that I'm not successful based on what your set of value of what success is.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, oh, David, you haven't booked a huge movie yet. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You give a fuck to tell me that I didn't. You feel like feel sad for me because they're like, oh man, you had such hype with the Gook film, but you never asked me if I wanted to act.
Exactly. And it just might be the case that their definition of success and happiness is not your definition of success and happiness.
I would have leveraged that shit and I would have done all these roles. Cool. The problem is I found out when I went into acting, I hated all these roles.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do them.
Yeah. Well, the only thing you got to say is cool, but are you me?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I would kill to be on a multicam sitcom. I don't want to be on a multicam sitcom. You never asked me.
Right.
So why are you telling me that would make me happy?
Yeah.
Stop saying this shit. This is an asinine conversation. And so, after we had this conversation, they kind of understood it. I'm not sure if they did, but it's like for somebody to go, I didn't think I was like an extremely happy guy, but they're like, oh, you have all these negative comments. Like there's like Reddit threads about how a piece of shit you are. I'm like, why are you reading them? I don't. I know people hate me. You know why? Because I'm opinionated. I have a big fucking mouth.
Right.
I understand what it entails.
Yeah.
Doesn't bring me down. Who are these people? What are they going to do to me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely shit else.
Unless they're China.
Hey, CCP, leave me alone. CCP, leave me alone. But just to go back, it's everything that I do has to deal with that. Even as an investor, as I invest in the ScrtSociety, I don't wear this because I'm trying to sell it. I wear it because I
genuinely I
look good in it.
when I brought him all the shit from the new collection a couple weeks ago when we did the podcast with Ed, Dave was so giddy and excited because he was
I've been waiting for this, man.
Yeah, he was like, dude, this shit is so nice and it's so comfortable, So yeah, guys, we're not just making shit for the sake of making the most money as we possibly can, with no integrity behind it, no care or attention to detail behind it. If anything, I would argue that we're doing more of that stuff than focusing on making as much money. But again, it's a business, so we do need to make money and we do need to make more of it in order to grow, because now we are at a bottleneck where we need to hit the next scaling process. It's very risky for us. So now us moving into getting a fulfillment service is kind of what's on the table for the near future. But that it's not a lot of money, but any money going out is a risk for us because that means less money we can use for production. But it's part of the process of growing, right? Yeah. It's like if I can't focus on things because of all of these other menial tasks that need to be done, that are necessary to be done.
Yeah.
We can't grow the brand, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. But oh man, I really hope, dude. I really hope more and more people can recognize what we're doing. Not just through the podcast, but yeah, just word of mouth too. Because that's like the best, another one of the best compliments you can get is like just somebody else told me about your brand, you know? And those moments that you've had, like, hey, yo, what's that brand that you're wearing?
Yeah.
I'm like,
shit, motherfucker.
Let me tell you a little something about this.
Let me tell you something like this little hunt. And before we sign off, like I gotta tell you, like this is stuff that I always tell Edric too because of what they pick out. It's like they could read my mind about what I want before I even say it. Like I have the biggest issues with fucking hats.
Yeah.
So many fucking hats that I buy are shit. And you'll see a lot of repeat hats that I wear because I like their specific fit.
Yeah.
Human Made was one of them. When they wore their dad cap, I was like, this fits right. This is it.
Yeah.
And I bought 4 other dad caps, hated them, gave away to all friends. I was like, you can have this shit. And they're like, oh, you want to keep this? Fuck the name. It doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
Like I just showed him a hat today from a company that I enjoy. And I got it. I'm like, fuck this hat.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck this hat, dude?
Yeah, the fit and feel of it was
terrible.
Questionable. This
hat right here, this Hunter Green one, looks so fucking good. The way it fits, the way it's styled.
Yes.
It's bright.
And this red one, it ain't a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Like, I fuck with this too. It's the foam trucker. It's so light. It's so comfortable.
Our trucker hats are fucking fire.
Yeah,
right now,
yeah. So just, everything we do, again, it's hard. Like my boy Kevin, he's a photographer who helped us with this Back to Basics collection.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin. I mean, he really went the extra mile. He was up with me fucking to wee hours of the morning, like working on shit, going over shit. But his girl, Vanessa, wants to get into the clothing line, or wants to start her own clothing line. So she's been asking. And she got to see a little bit kind of like what's going on. And I'm like, you still want to do this?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like, oh, yeah, I guess.
It's like, is it as glamorous as, you thought it was? I was like, it's not, right? Look at all these headaches that I'm dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's inevitable for you too. So I'm like, I jokingly say, don't do it. But obviously, when I get serious, I tell her. The time
and the passion, if you love it,
yeah, go for exactly. It. Just know that it comes with the territory and be ready for it. Don't go into thinking it's going to be, all glitz and glamour and I got my own clothing line and it's all.
And once again, I think I really do enjoy the fact, like, there's like little stuff and that they know about clothing from being a part of the industry that makes sense. I guarantee you, every fucking person that you've bought that said like, oh, we want to just, do our own clothing line where it's dope, high quality stuff. If you ask them what is high quality about your stuff, 0 blanks. I'm talking about the highest fashion bloggers, fucking daily vloggers, especially the girls who make their clothes.
Yeah.
I've seen their shit. It's like,
funny.
This is Forever 21 shit. Don't you fucking dare sell your audience to stuff like, this is high quality shit. I know it's not, dude. Yeah. I've seen your shit.
Yeah.
The fact that you could even go out there and sell your stuff saying that, oh, this is humane stuff, like the quality, attention to care. You haven't seen shit. What you did was saw the design that a designer made and you go, oh, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But you don't know anything about the product. But like, that's fine. Just don't lie to people. You know what I mean?
I think, again, it's just ignorant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just throw out they throw out these buzzwords thinking, oh yeah, that's what you got to use. It's high quality shit. It's the best. But what does it mean to them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no meaning behind it because they don't know the technical aspects of it. So they say high quality in what sense? Well, I mean, it costs $300, so of course it's high quality.
No.
No, price does not equate high quality. Like I said, our production guy makes some of these higher end streetwear brands stuff and like these reputable brands. And I look at it, I told you, one of them, he's like, yo, check out this hoodie. And I'm like, yo, this is like some fucking swap meet shit. And he's like, oh, it's so-and-so's. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They're charging how much for this shit? I'm like, this is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. It worked the other way around for our shit. some of these guys from these companies came by his place, the production guy's place, and saw our shit. Like, yo, whose is this? They start feeling it. They're like, yo, can I try this on? We're like, nah, I mean, you could check it out, but you know, this is like my other client shit. Like this, my homie shit, like you can't like try it on. You could buy it when it comes out. They're like, yo, this shit is dope.
Yeah.
Like what's their
like, how much does it cost to make? Like, okay, never mind.
No, so they would inquire about us. Yo, like what's their website? What's their Instagram? What's the brand name? And like that made me feel good. Because I know some of these guys are from companies that are very well established, who are doing very well for themselves.
Yeah.
And these are their head of production or whatever. And they're looking at our shit and being like, double taking.
Yeah.
Yo, whose shit is this? This shit is dope. Hey, we want to make shit like that.
Yeah.
You know? So that tells you, man, if insiders know what's up, like we're doing it right.
Yeah.
We're doing it right. And that's something that succeed or fail, I hope success, but succeed or fail, I can live with myself end of the day. Like we did it the right way and we're giving customers what we believe to truly be value in every sense.
Yeah. Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. That was almost damn near 2 hours.
God damn.
That was a passionate talk.
Yeah.
You know, like the podcast rarely goes past an hour, but it's just fucking important, man.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys like the Secret Society stuff, man. Yeah, I'm super happy about it. It's just one of those things, man. Like I could die happy knowing that even if the company does, I mean, it's been 4 years. I mean, we've been going.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We've been surviving.
We've been
surviving. We haven't been thriving.
Yeah, we've been surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, due to everybody's support.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make sure that this does well. So hope you guys, if you guys fuck with Secret Society, I guarantee when you rock it, you'll know what we're talking about. And when people look at your shit and they ask where it's from, you'll know what it is, man. It's all word of mouth too. You know, say it with pride, dude. Say like, oh, it's Secret Society. It's a high-end streetwear brand.
Yeah.
You know, and let people know about it and let people touch the fabric. They'll see what's up.
Yeah.
And
matter of fact, take the clothes off your back and give to them so they know what's up.
And then suck their dick. And then just make a connection and a bond that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Do what you got to do. Go the extra mile. Come on, guys. We need the support. All right?
I know, dude. Get on those knees and fucking do what you had. Eat some pussy. Let's go. But anyways, guys, you can catch Edric at Ed2. Remember, Secret Society is ScrtSociety. Be a part of the family. Wear some shit that you know the attention and detail that goes into it. And let's get back to the basics, man. Fashion basics never fucking die.
Yeah.
Right? These are statement pieces. Whenever you walk around and you know what's up with it.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't my merch. It's a company that I invested into because I believe in it. So if you guys fuck with it, even if you don't fuck with me, you fuck with the clothes.
Yeah. Just real quick on the whole contemporary fashion basics, guys. So like what we're talking about is we take timeless pieces and give it an update. You know, a contemporary update with the fabric, with the fit, you know, fuck, I just got a brain fart. But yeah, we give it a contemporary update, and that's what we mean by contemporary fashion basics. So it's meant to be something that you can wear every single day, no matter your gender, no matter what walk of life you're from. It's for everyone. That's why we say, whoever you are, you're one of us.
Well, we'll catch you guys next time every Thursday and Sundays until January 1st. And we go once a week. And after that, my friends, I'll be with you every Sunday, 12 p.m. But until then, Thursdays and Sundays. So see you all next time. ScrtSociety. Junbi Matcha, JUNB shop.com. If you guys want to go ahead and cop our matcha stuff or check out any of our stores and get our dope ass drinks. And then also give me the number to your mom so we can hook up.
Me too.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang,
Tag
bang,
team.
bang. Yeah.
Tag
Did you know
team,
your
baby.
girlfriend looks like your mom? See y'all next time. Peace.